So why is it a problem to tell kids, go out until you calm down? What is it teaching them? What is it telling them about themselves? What is it telling them about their emotions? What is it telling them about you and your relationship? What this meant for this boy at the time was that anger, sadness, frustration, not allowed. Bad emotions, bad boy, get out. I don't want to deal with you. Another lesson he got, I need to learn how to manage it on my own. And, my dear son, you're not lovable, so get out. Hi and welcome to the Zen Supermom podcast. In the episode today, we will talk about the opposite reaction that typically happens. Most of the episodes here, I'm talking about how to stop yelling at your kids and how to keep it like calm and zen and chill in those triggering situations. But I'm getting more and more feedback, and especially now working with men as well, that even more often than yelling, they are becoming emotionally numb, cut off from any emotions and feeling like a cold machine. And you see your kid crying there and having a hard time, and you feel like this cold-hearted, like disconnecting from it, as if part of you just shut down. You're going through the emotions, your body is there, you see what you see, you hear what you hear, but as if like a part of you just checked out. So if that's what you're experiencing quite often, let's talk. Hi, Supermom or Superdad. Alena here, your mommy tantrum specialist and the founder of the Zen Supermom system. And me and my team have helped hundreds of moms and dads start setting healthy boundaries with calm. And this is the first parenting podcast that is not about your kids, that shows you why none of the parenting techniques helped you stop yelling at your kids and how to control your emotions from jumping out so that you can be the safe, loving parent you wish you had growing up. This is the Zen Supermom podcast. Hi, I'm Alena, the founder of the Zen Supermom system, where we help busy but loving moms and now even dads stay calm and patient no matter what happens with your kids or anywhere around in your life, so that you can be the safe space for your kids and they don't have to be scared of you. And typically what I talk about the most often in this podcast is yelling, how to stop yelling. But more and more throughout doing the mommy tantrum trainings and now even daddy tantrum trainings, the feedback I'm getting is also from parents who are not even struggling that much with yelling, but their biggest problem is the emotional shutdown. So there comes a situation with their kids when they're too noisy, they have too big emotions themselves, there's too much drama, basically. And so then what happens to them is that they shut down. Part of them just checks out, they become emotionally numb, and because their body cannot leave, they have to stay present physically in the situation. They shut down part of their emotional piece, basically to not feel these emotions. And so then they describe it as, I become this cold-hearted, just a machine. My body is going through the motions. I'm sorting the situation, but I feel empty. I feel numb. And then the kids see it, they notice the moment, the shift in your energy, and that usually triggers them even more, especially if they're smaller, because they can feel the moment when you check out. So then the connection, however, it was already like, it was already not ideal before when they were having tantrum. Your kids already felt not seen, not heard, not loved. The moment they see you checking out, they completely lose it, because for them, it's like fighting for their life. This is so threatening for their feeling of safety and security, because when they feel that you leave, that emotionally you checked out, you become numb, that's when they will start having even harder time. They will start crying even more. There will be even bigger drama. It will take even longer to help them calm down, because in that moment they feel they are fighting for their life. Because if you as their parent are not there, connected to them, if they feel not heard, completely blocked out by you, then who is going to save them? Who is going to help them? So that's what makes them feel even worse. And this is why it's such a problem. And the good news is it's actually the same problem. It's just the different side is the second side of the coin. It might look like a different symptom. Like, yeah, I'm not yelling at my kids. I'm not a threatening, raging parent. But the effect on your kids is exactly the same. It is giving them developmental trauma themselves. And it is, the good news is going to the same root even for you. Even if you think you had a happy childhood with parents who did not yell at you. Even if you don't remember what happened in your childhood. Yeah. Even then, the roots will be the same. So, if you would start looking under the surface and beyond just some theory that you might have got somewhere in your counseling psychologist sessions or some DIY self-help books that you already read, if you want to start looking under, then this is what this episode is going to do for you. I'm going to do my best, even though I don't have you here one-on-one, but let's try how deep we can get together, even like this. One of the most useful things that we do, the most inspiring and mind-blowing and mind-opening exercises we do on those mommy tantrum and daddy tantrum trainings is the first exercise about your childhood indeed. And this is where I'm getting the feedback like, yeah, but my childhood, what are you talking about? I had a happy childhood. My parents didn't do any of this. Like, how does that link? Well, come with me for a walk, won't you? Think back the last time that this happened. Okay, so you're not yelling, but you dissociated. You became emotionally numb. So have that as a movie in your memory right now. And rewind that movie to the moment just before that happened. So right before you checked out. So probably you were feeling more and more overwhelmed. Like it was too much drama, too much noise, too many requests, not enough time. And you were like, I cannot clone myself to do everything. And it's just too much and I can't physically leave. So get in that sensation right now. Okay, as if you could freeze frame that, pause that Netflix movie, freeze frame right here. What is it that you were thinking? What were the stories in your head that you can hear once you start paying attention, once we slow it down? And what were the sensations you were feeling in your body? Okay, because this is usually what gives you the clue. Why couldn't you figure it out before by yourself? Because usually it happens too fast, right? Those situations, those episodes, when you either have a raging episode, or on the opposite extreme, you disconnect and you become emotionally numb. The challenge is why you can't figure it out by yourself usually, because it happens too fast. And in the moment, like it's impossible to stop it once you're in it. So have some self-compassion for you. It's completely normal. It happens to everyone who was traumatized in their childhood. And so that's why there's no shame in admitting that you haven't been able to figure it out by yourself yet, okay? But this is how you start. So what are the stories that you usually hear in your head in that moment? Okay. Usually it is like, yeah, it's too much. Why are they not listening? I try to explain. I'm trying to be the nice parent. I'm not going to yell, but this is just too much. I need to get out of here. I can't take it anymore. Okay. And that's what happens then. Then you become emotionally numb, yeah? Is it something like this? You can let me know. Now, the next steps of the exercise is to think back in your past. When is the first time you ever felt that way? And I'm not talking about some nasty colleagues at work or some dramatic situations when you were teenagers and you were you were a victim of bullying, or there were some fights, some emotional verbal abuse from people who didn't like you, some haters or anything. I'm talking about your childhood. So think back about your parents, about your siblings, grandparents, teachers. What was going on? Okay. And sometimes people start having flashbacks as I keep asking these questions. And sometimes people go blank. And they tell me either I don't remember anything about my childhood, nothing like this, or I had a happy childhood. What are you talking about? My parents never yelled at me. And so I'm not traumatized. I had a perfect childhood, so I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. I just had I think last week, I had assessment call with one dad who came to his assessment session with me. Like, that's the first step if you're interested in joining the Zen Supermom or Super Dad program, is having a free assessment call with me so that I can help you see, I can help understand what is it that happened. I do this diagnostics a little bit to see if we can really help you, yeah? And so he came to the call and he opened with that. He started saying, well, my parents didn't yell at me. I yell, but my biggest problem is I become emotionally numb and I have no idea where that's coming from because I had a happy childhood. So kind of like, now do your magic. So I did. He did eventually remember that the line his parents used to say was, calm down or you will go outside. That was it. And they said that without yelling. And it did happen several times that he had to go outside. So not just like behind the door, but he had to go outside to the garden, out of the house. When he had, like when he was angry, sad, disappointed, when he was trying to like get his emotions out, trying to manage it, their parents sent him out. Yeah. Sounds familiar? Anything like this happened to you maybe? And if not, just then see how I connect the dots. Can you start seeing the dots? Connect it, because once you can do it, once you see how I'm doing it, maybe you can connect your dots for your specific case. So why is it the problem to tell kids, go out until you calm down? What is it teaching them? What is it telling them about themselves? What is it telling them about their emotions? What is it telling them about you and your relationship? I can only imagine. What this meant for this boy at the time was that anger, sadness, frustration, not allowed. Bad emotions, bad boy, get out. I don't want to deal with you. Another lesson he got, I need to learn how to manage it on my own without getting any example, because my parents are shutting down their emotions as well. They never yell, but that doesn't mean they're healthy. It's like they don't know how to handle it. They do it on their own in their corner as well. So no meaningful deep connection, no talking about having, like whenever there are conflicts, disagreements, no yelling, no arguing, but people stay mad in their own corner. And my dear son, you're not lovable. Like very conditional love. You are not lovable. You don't deserve my attention until and unless you calm down on your own. So get out. So all of these messages not only didn't help him see healthy patterns of like how he should manage his emotions, nobody helped him feel like make him feel heard and seen and understood. Like there were some big problems, big situations with which he didn't know how to handle. So not only he didn't understand, he didn't get any support through managing that situation, talking through it, what happened, why he was upset, or none of that. Like, you're on your own. But then also getting the message of very conditional love. There's a list of conditions you need to fulfill in order for me to give you my attention and make you feel loved again. You're not acceptable. You're not good enough. This part of you is bad. You need to cut it off. Well, congratulations. This is, dear parents, you just created for this little boy who's now a grown-up man doing exactly the same thing to his kids. You created in him generational developmental trauma. Okay? And I see it happen very often. Another parent, and I don't remember now if it was a mom or dad, was telling me that it was a dad as well, that his parents divorced. And he went to live with his dad. And he said, but we had a great relationship. But yeah, he was like, he was emotionally more cold and distant. And we both stayed in our corners and we did our thing. So we had a chat, but no meaningful conversations, no real connection. Like he didn't feel I don't know a better word how to describe that. You feel attached, feel connected with somebody, right? Like emotional link. None of that was there because his father was basically teaching him like just go and be by yourself, an introvert in his corner, and so you go and be introvert in your corner, and we don't talk about stuff, emotions, and let's just be okay and let's have a normal surface chat, but nothing meaningful, nothing deep, really. So again, this was the same case. Emotionally numb then, and having no tools, no clue how to handle other people's big emotions. Because when you shut down yours, then how could you even possibly tolerate somebody else's big emotions, right? So this is where it's so important for you to understand, yes, congratulations, it's amazing you're not yelling at your kids. But what is the impact of your trauma on them? What is the impact of you not healing this? Because what are your kids learning from you in terms of communication skills, emotional management, if I would even call it this way? And what are they learning about themselves and their self-worth and your unconditional love the moment they see you check out? Yeah. This is why it's such a challenge. Yeah. Now, the good news, not to be just like a fear-mongering, making you feel scared and terribly guilty about everything that you're doing wrong with your kids. No. The reason why I'm doing all of these podcast episodes and all of these trainings, once you understand what's going on, the good news is there's help. Okay? And this is exactly what we are doing. So step number 1, healing your childhood. Even though you don't remember, even though it was all great and you love your parents, you don't have to start hating them. I'm not saying that. Keep loving them or keep having whatever relationship you're having. If that's working for you, that's fine. But there are some things that we need to shine light at. And you need to understand why that's not okay, so that you stop doing the same to your kids, right? So healing your childhood. And then the second piece we always do is mental fitness. And that's really realizing, okay, those were not the most helpful ways that I learned from my parents. Nothing wrong with that, parents. I'm not criticizing you. But I'm here to learn the healthy ways of how to communicate, how to manage my big emotions, so that then I can help my kids manage their emotions and drama, whatever is happening. Okay? So that they don't get caught up in the same traps that I do. Because you tell me, what are the consequences? What is that doing to you right now in your life still? Because I bet it's not just about your kids. If you're becoming emotionally numb and you're disconnecting when it gets tough, I bet, and you let me know, did you marry or are you currently in a partnership with somebody who's the opposite? Who's like very emotional, very expressive, with also 2 coins, like 2 sides of the same coin. So they're amazing and they give you their love and they're so expressive and like they are so connected, they're showing you the love. But then also on the flip side, if they have some unhealed stuff from their childhood, they can be also very dramatic and it's a lot. And then when it becomes too much for you, you're running away, you're avoiding, and for the sake of you, I don't want any conflicts, I don't want to have any arguments, and like, this is too much for me, check out. Is it happening in your relationships? Yes or no? Very typically, this is classic relationship model, right? This is why your partner chose you, because you're the calm, the steady, nothing can make you upset. Yeah, that's great. But if you're doing that because you're avoiding and cutting your like parts of yourself off, that's how then it's showing as avoidant, numb, which triggers them, because the more you run away, the more they will run after you, like a dog after after a cat that's trying to run away and get like hide as quickly as possible, and your partner keeps running at you like, I need you to listen to me, and I need you, and you're withdrawing, yeah. And it's triggering your partner, because your partner might be, yeah, I wanted some calm and steady, but this is too much for me. You're running away. And for you, it's also, this is too much drama as well. You loved your partner at the beginning because there was this emotional connection that you were craving. They are not afraid to talk about meaningful and deep stuff. They're not afraid to show their emotions, even though it hurts sometimes. They are courageous. They take risks. Sometimes they call it, they wear their heart on their sleeve. Yeah? Which is so different from your family. If you grew up in emotionally distant, blocked family, then this feels warm. This feels real and genuine. You love it. That's why you ended up together, right? But when they flip and take it into drama, you're like, too much. I don't know how to handle that, right? It becomes too overwhelming. So then you feel like, I need my space. Like, get out of my space. I need to breathe. Like, this is too much for me. Feels familiar? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised that many of you who will be listening here will be thinking like, oh my goodness, are you spying on me in my closet? And this is another reason why it's so important. You're not just doing this work for your kids so that they don't grow up feeling scared of you. They don't grow up feeling emotionally cut off and not worthy, not good enough for your attention because you just leave. They would grow up feeling, I'm too much, so I need to shrink. I need to quiet down. I need to cut off pieces of myself because they are not acceptable. That alone might be a good reason for you to start healing. But then the second reason is it shows up in your relationships one way or another. Even if you don't resonate with the example that I just shared, that I see, like this is the most typical example that I see in our clients, you might have a different option, different version of it. It doesn't matter. If you start looking really closely, that this emotional numbness, this avoidance of conflicts, this inability to handle it and feeling scared of letting the emotions take over, this has impact throughout your life, everywhere. And I would dare to say even in your professional life. Yeah. So this is the invitation for you. I'm planting seeds in your mind, not only for you to start observing more and more where it's all happening. And then don't blame it on me. It's not my fault that you become like, disappointed and frustrated and guilty and ashamed. No, it's all of this was happening before. All you're doing now is that you're becoming more and more aware because this is the first necessary step for you to admit that you need some help. Okay. And then feel free to go DIY as far as you want. This podcast episode, I'm here to help anybody. But then if you really want to get some serious results in a manageable timeline of 3-4 months maximum, then reach out. Let's talk. Yeah. Because trauma healing is not a DIY, especially when you even have no clue what that trauma is, because you have no memories of your childhood, or your childhood was amazing and you're not ready to give up on those happy thoughts. You don't have to, by the way, but it means you will need even more help connecting the dots. Sounds good? Yes. Let's focus on the dream before I let you go, so that you're not all frustrated and negative from this and feeling some like emotions from this podcast episode. Let's flip it into the dream. This is a question I often ask in those assessment calls. Imagine 3-4 months from now, you would have built and healed and created enough capacity to be able to stay emotionally present, even when your kids have these big emotions, even when your partner has big emotions, even when there is too much going on and it's too intense, it's too much drama, too loud, too noisy, too frustrating. You would have the ability to stay present. And you would know how to surf those waves of emotions without being worried of being drowned in it or losing yourself in it, okay? You would have that confidence because you would have the tools on how to surf those waves safely, so that not only you can manage your emotions in a healthy way, but that then you can also teach your kids so that they grow up feeling worthy, knowing that they deserve to be loved unconditionally, without having to fulfill anything, without having to chop off any parts of them because this is bad or this is dark or this is not nice, or none of that judgment. They grow up loving themselves fully because you do. Because now, after you have healed, you know that you, all parts of you, every single piece, each and every one of them, part of you, they are all lovable. They all deserve to be fully embraced and loved on. Because this is who you are and there's nothing wrong with it. There are no demons. There are no dark sides. There are no shadows. All of that shadow work is about is really learning to deal with your trauma and heal it. Yeah. Only after you do that, you can do it with your kids. And wouldn't it be wonderful if your kids grew up resilient, confident, strong, knowing who they are, so that no matter who crosses their path or what happens in their lives, you will not be always there to save them, protect them from it happening, but you will sleep calmly and peacefully at night because you know you taught them everything they need to be able to handle it, no matter what life throws at them. Isn't that worth it? So, reach out whenever you're ready. You know where to find me. And appreciation and gratitude to all of you, generational trauma breakers. This is one of the, at least this is my belief, it's one of the most important missions, one of the deepest. Like if you ever wondered what is your purpose of your life, what is the reason why you were put on this earth, I believe if you heal yourself enough so that you at least stop spreading the trauma and pain around, and maybe you can even help the next generation grow up in a healthier way. If you did nothing else with your life, I believe you have fulfilled the highest mission that you could ever aim for. So, well done. I know it takes a lot of courage. It's not for the, how do they call it? The weak of heart? Not for the, my English is losing. It's getting lost now. You're brave. And that's why you deserve to celebrate yourself already now. You're taking those important steps. So, you're not alone. And there's a path. Go for it. Take care, supermoms and superdads. Want to know why those gentle parenting techniques are not working for you? Where is that uncontrollable anger that you feel with your kids? Where is it coming from? Then download this mini book. I prepared it for you, busy, loving, but yelling supermom or superdad. Because no, it's not about learning more parenting techniques. It's not about doing classic talk therapy. It's not about more self-care time so that you can de-stress. No, there's something deeper going on. It's not even about your kids. So I compiled this mini book out of my most successful 1 hour long live training that I'm doing. I compressed it in just a few pages so that you can learn these 2 keys that you need to be able to stay calm with your kids, no matter how stressed you are, no matter how much they are pushing your boundaries, so that you know what it's going to take for you to stay calm and set healthy boundaries without yelling. Want to know how? Get that mini book now.